Clerk Seacrest could call the roll.
Trustee Anthony.
Present.
Trustee Foster.
Good evening.
Trustee Graham Hudek. The record reflect that Clerk Segrist is calling the roll. Treasurer Slavens is absent. Trustee Snyderman
I am here.
and Supervisor Williams.
Good evening. Call for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have two sets of minutes for, in front of you for approval from the September 11th and 18th, 2018 meetings. Could call for a motion to approve. Do they need to be separate, Michael? Can we do them at once? Call for a motion to move, to approve the two sets of minutes as presented together.
Second?
No, I moved.
He moved. I'll second.
Good. Those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Now would be the time in our agenda for citizens' non-agenda items. Citizens' non-agenda items. If you're here to discuss anything that's on the agenda this evening, when it's the appropriate time to come up would be the time to speak. If you'd like to make public comments, sir, please, now would be the time. If you would, please share your name, address, and then also we're requesting you limit to 3 minutes if you would.
My name's Trip Bonds. I live at 48531 Greenwich Circle in Canton. And I'm just here to talk to someone about street flooding that's occurring in our streets, repeated street flooding over the past couple of years. We've put in multiple tickets to Wayne County. We've talked to the groups, the HOA and whatnot, and the issue isn't getting resolved. And I just took video of the results of today's rain to bring it to attention to the folks here.
Perfect.
And hopefully we can get some help to fix the problem. It's about 100 yards long right now, right in front of a bus stop. So we'd like to get that fixed.
Sure. Which subdivision was it again?
Central Park.
Tim Foss absolutely is the right guy to share
Great.
information with, and
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Okay, seeing no other public comment, now we have this evening a presentation of, thank you very much. Yes, could I call for a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
As presented.
Second.
In favor of paying the bills again this month, please state aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Pay the bills. Now we have an item, we have the BAPS Charities Group. It would like to make a donation or make a check presentation to Canton Public Safety. So we have a few members from BAPS here this evening in the audience. Please, if you'd approach the podium. And then I'd ask Deputy Director and Chief Stockline to please join them.
So before I hand the check, I just want to take a couple minutes, just 2 minutes. I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
On behalf of BAPS Charities, I would like to thank you all for giving us the stage tonight. BAPS Charities serves the Canton community and others across the United States by fostering a spirit of service. There are global problems that we address within our community by bringing a global scope and breaking it down into local initiatives, by working directly within our community to solve the problems like sustainability, like funding cancer research, like giving education to all. And through BAPS Charities, we're able to make a direct impact with those that we live with. Established by our former spiritual head, His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and continue to follow his legacy with our current spiritual leader, His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj. We've been helping the Canton community for over 15 years now. And it is because of this ethic that just last week we were able to help over 200 community members in providing pro bono health care. But not only do we make an impact within our community by serving, we also have a focus on health, education, environment, and humanitarian relief. And this scope this offering, this proposition, allows us to effectively make an impact in whatever community we're located in. Within the Canton community, we make an impact by not only serving the community, but by educating the community, specifically through things like our annual walkathon. Not only do we impact the community by helping the Canton City or by helping the Educational Excellence Fund, we also educate people about what it means to live a sustainable lifestyle, what it means to become a citizen of the Canton community, and more importantly, what it means to become a person. So with that, I want to show my continued commitment, and on the behalf of BAPS Charities, their continued commitment to the Canton community by offering this check. Along with that, we want to show our commitment to this leadership by inviting you all to our Diwali celebration on November 8th at 5 p.m. And along with that, carrying on a tradition of hosting a meal at the Canton City during the afternoon, during that time. So I thank you again for this time, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anne Marie, get another if we could. Yeah. Better, much better.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody get in the picture. It would be better. Thank you guys again. Thank you. Have a good night. Clerk Segrist, could you read a resolution into the record for us this evening?
Mr. Supervisor, I move that the board enter into public record the presentation.
Support.
In favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now, Clerk Segrist, if we could read the consent calendar as a single item.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that the board approve the consent calendar as written with item C1, consider request to decrease blanket purchase order for police uniforms. 2, consider approval of 2018 budget adjustment for Downtown Development Authority.
Support.
Those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now let's move into our general calendar. First item, G1. We have gotten prepared here. Here we go. Consider final approval of the plan development and site plan for Hampton Manor of Canton Assisted Living Facility.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that the board adopt the following resolution. Whereas the project sponsors requested final approval of a plan development and site plan for the Hampton Manor Assisted Living Facility located on the south side of Ford Road, west of Ridge Road, and whereas the Planning Commission reviewed the final development plan and site plan, made a recommendation to approve the request as it meets the criteria for a plan development, fulfills identified needs in the community, and results in definite benefits to the community. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Canton, Michigan does hereby approve the request for final approval of the planned development and site plan for the Hampton Manor Assisted Living Facility proposed on tax parcels listed and part of the tax parcel listed, subject to any and all applicable state and local development regulations.
Second. Thank you. To add on to the very detailed resolution, it's a 59,000 square foot facility. It's going to be located just east of Crimbali's Nursery and extend easterly towards Ridge Road along the drain. Some of the benefits that were announced in the resolution are an enhancement of the wetland buffers by supplementing and planting and removal of debris and non-native plants, providing over 68% of open space on the site, exceeding our 25%. So when this project's done, it will have 68% of green space. It also requires additional parking over a minimum period for required visitors. The market analysis continues to show a strong demand for senior housing in our community, and that's what's being presented. Are there any questions for Director Foss this evening? Go ahead, Anne Marie.
Oh, basically what you said, Pat, and just in addition, we had asked questions about transportation. They said they'd have their own transportation. MDOT's also going to be looking at that southbound left turn lane for the queuing to make sure that there's no issues there, so we did ask about that. Also, there was some drainage. There was a letter of opposition from Mr. Souls on Ford Road, and he's on well and septic right now, and so they're going to help him get connected to the sewer line, which would solve some of the issues that he had brought up in his letter. They also talked about working with some of the seniors on finances if some of them were not able to afford it, so that also helps. They also took the long-term care insurance and veterans insurance, which we were concerned about. And this would be the final approval, so there was just mostly questions about the operations at the time.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I have a question. It does, in the background for the RBA, it says that it passed the Planning Commission 8-0, but when I was looking at the Planning Commission meeting minutes, it looks like there were 2 members absent and 1 member voting against. So, am I reading those minutes wrong, or?
The minutes are correct. Basically, we did have one, you were right, 2 were absent, 1 voted no, and then the rest voted yes. And the no was because of the capacity. There were only 64 residents, but one of the commissioners was concerned that if the facility did not do well and close, would there be drainage issues for the neighbor? He was worried about that. And Jeff Goulet had said that we have not had one fail in Canton at all, and so he really didn't think that that was an issue because there was a business and a market for that particular facility. And that's, if you look at the end of the Planning Commission minutes, that was the last paragraph.
So, but the RBA, so the RBA is wrong then? So
Correct.
it passed the Planning Commission by a vote of 5-1?
7-1.
Right, 1, 2, 3.
6-1.
Well, there's 9 members.
Okay.
2 were missing.
I will make sure.
Want to,
Life? No, that's fine. That's just our documentation. I just was, said one of these things is not like the other, kind
Yeah,
of.
we can make that correction so that it's accurate in the minutes.
Yeah, and well, I write the minutes, so we're lucky there, but.
oh, are you done, Michael?
Go ahead, Mike, or Stephen.
Just on the zoning chart, so, just so I know what everything is that's around, the, not this one, but the one, the zoning map. You had it up before.
There you go. So, no?
The R1, the ones that shows R1 and RA and all that.
There? Up now?
It's different than what's in our package. Where is it? No, I'm lost. Ford Road.
Site is
So
between.
the site is right
Vintage Valley-
here,
there
it's
it
this
is.
hatched
Cobalt, yeah.
area, right?
So, okay, that gives more detail of what's there than what was in our packet, I think. So that's Vintage Valley. What's the future land use? Those are private homes right now that may be sold for something else? or-
Which one are you pointing to, Steve? On,
Just to the east of the site,
right here?
yeah.
That's undeveloped property.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
there's
homes?
one residential home here, and I think there might be one right down in there, too.
I gotcha. In between the development and this new,
Correct,
okay.
correct, yeah.
And that's Crimboli there,
Yes,
I
this
gotcha.
is Crimboli, and then this is Patriot Park.
and then Westridge Estates is below it.
Correct, yep. The entrance to Westridge is right here.
Tim, is there an entrance off of Ridge Road or just Ford?
Just Ford.
This doesn't go all the way to Ridge, right?
It does not. No, they reserved, there's an existing home down in here, and they preserved that existing property.
Entrances are not required by the fire department?
It's a split entrance. It's a single entrance that's physically split, so it serves, or it acts like two separate entrances.
Is the Crimboli property, is that a legal non-conforming use or, because it looks like it's zoned, so it's zoned RA and its future land use is residential, but they're operating commercial business, that
Right,
must.
right. It's been there for decades.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting.
Seeing no other questions at this time, those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item G2, consider acceptance of a fiscal 2017 FEMA Safer Grant.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to accept the fiscal year 2017 FEMA Safer Grant Award in the amount of $1,353,240 with designated Canton match for the hiring of 6 new firefighters.
Summary, the Canton Fire Department was awarded a fiscal year 2017 FEMA Safer Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response Program grant in the amount of $1,353,240, which includes a designated Canton match to be used toward the hiring and maintaining of 6 new firefighter positions. The grant is a period from February 2nd, 2019 through February 1st, 2022, with the grant award being dispersed as 75% the first and second year with a 25% match, and then 35% the third year with a 65% match, and then the subsequent years, then the new employees stay on as Canton employees. Are there any questions for Director Meyer or Chief Stockline? Pretty good news.
Discussed this before, right?
We have discussed it before.
Study session, that's what it was, okay.
Is there anything additional you'd like to share? Or?
We will add these positions to the budget for the board to adopt for 19 and 20. You'll see those coming up at the end of October, so we will add them for that.
Allow us to improve new firefighters, so it's a wonderful thing. All right. Seeing no further questions, those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item G3. Consider approving the purchase of desktop computers for investigations unit.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to approve the purchase of 12 desktop computers and 9 monitors from Dell Incorporated for a total amount of $12,300.
In my verbiage here, I've got a disconnect. It says 12 desktops and 8 monitors. So are we buying 8 or are we buying 9? Resolution is clear. And the price per unit is, the quote came back at the 8, so there's,
I will withdraw my initial motion if the seconder would agree.
I agree.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to approve the purchase of 12 desktop computers with the appropriate amount of monitors from Dell Incorporated for a total amount of $12,300.
Support.
perfect. So the, in terms of summary, upon consultation and recommendation of the IT Services Department, Police Department is requesting to acquire this equipment for our investigations unit. IT Services has obtained the quotes from Dell, which are in the package here, and drug forfeiture funds are being budgeted for this acquisition. Is there anything additional, Josh, you'd like to add, or are there any board questions? Okay, seeing none, those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item G4, consider approving the purchase, relocation, and installation of workstations and a portable wall.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to approve the purchase, installation, and relocation of workstations and a portable wall from Kentwood Office Furniture in the amount of $29,730.94 utilizing drug forfeiture funds.
Support.
Good. In terms of background information, the police department has established an in-house special operations group at the beginning of 2018. Since then. The group of 7 has been working out of a 10 by 12 office space located on the second floor. The department has determined the most efficient work area for the SOG unit would be an extension of the current Detective Bureau, housing all the investigative officers in one conjoined area. To accomplish this, the 5 workstations on the second floor are proposed to be relocated to another area on the second floor, requiring moderate reconfiguration of workstations that the existing area currently has available. Unfortunately, expansion of the investigative unit puts undercover officers in view of public service counter, which would be addressed by installing a portable wall for the privacy of the safety officers. Kentwood is authorized vendor of the Kimball office furniture, the manufacturer of the existing workstations to be reconfigured and relocated. Are there any board questions, comments? Go ahead, Anne Marie.
Can I just ask a question on drug forfeiture funds? It's great that we have them and we can use them. I'm wondering, is there a limit or is there a scope as to what you can purchase with them?
Yes, they're very specific in what we can use them for, and we scrutinize those guidelines, and when we have to do audits and report that. So,
One of the items is the equipment for, okay.
has to be spent on law enforcement, it has to be equipment, but there is certain equipment that we cannot purchase with drug forfeiture funds. So when there's an opportunity like this to utilize that money, and it falls within the guidelines set forth, we try to leverage that.
Other comments? Those in favor of the motion as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, that includes our very brief agenda this evening. Is there any additional public comment? Is there any additional public comment? Okay, seeing none, is there any board comment?
I would just like to note that, if I may, thank you. Today is the National Voter Registration Day, so as the clerk, I thought it would be very important that I bring that up to everybody who may be watching at home, or if you know somebody who is not registered to vote, send them down to my office here at Township Hall. The last day to register for the November election, which is coming up on November 6th, that last day is going to be October 9th. So just make sure you come by my office so you can participate in the election. Thank you.
So some people also wanted to help with the election.
I received that phone call today, and I had a fantastic conversation with that lady that you sent me.
Very nice.
If you would like to participate as an election inspector, most people don't know that, but the election is actually administered by a non-professional group of quasi-volunteers who work for me. It's about 300 to 350 people who administer the election on election day. They work about 15 hours to 16 hours that day. But it's good work, and it's great to get involved and see it up close and personal. So if you would like to get involved, the pay is pretty good, and it's a great way to give back to the community. You can obviously find an application online at the clerk's website, or come by my office.
Is there a deadline for this next election to do that, or?
There's not an official deadline. No, but we will begin the training sessions in mid-October. So if you don't get that to me within the next 2 weeks, I would say it would be a little too late. Yeah.
Comments? Call for motion to close.
Support.
Favor the motion is presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Good evening, everybody. Be safe.